Hello students, welcome to the course Circuit Theory and Network. Today we will consider the mesh analysis. It means however the complicated circuit is that how we can solve the circuit, and this mesh analysis is one of the method of that. Already we have seen the nodal analysis and how we can solve the circuit by using the nodal analysis concept that we have already seen in our last videos, and today we will discuss about mesh analysis. Okay, now what is mesh? We have to know, and sometimes in few books you will find out that the loop analysis and mesh analysis both are term. So it's a very simple thing, just like just consider a closed path for any circuit. If we consider a closed path, that closed path, any of the closed path, the circuit contains several numbers of closed path. That closed path, that is called as a loop, and it may happen that one loop or one closed path consists with another closed path or another more than one another closed paths are there. So mesh is nothing but a the smallest loop or the smallest closed path within the circuit. So that's written over here. A mesh is a loop which doesn't contain any other loops within it. So loops means nothing but a closed path. So a loop may have the several numbers of another closed path within that, but a mesh is considered within a single loop. It means in which there are no more closed paths exist, right? Now, so first of all, whenever we are going for the mesh analysis, then the first thing is that we have to design the circuit in a planar basis. It means sometimes a circuit is given in non-planar way. It means some crossings are there. So for this diagram, you can see that these several resistance are connected to a particular point, and these connecting points or this branch basically they are crossed each other. So these types of circuits, they are called they are crossed each other, they are crossed, but they are not connected in this particular point. If they are connected, then no problem at all, but if they are not connected, it means one path is crossing the another path, but there is no more connection at that crossing point. So we can say this circuit is a non-planar circuit. So before applying this mesh analysis, always we have to change this non-planar circuit to planar circuit. So how we can say that, how we can do that? Now first of all, we have to consider that suppose these points or these nodes are over here, there is no more connection, so this is not the node, this is not also not the node. So how many different types of nodes are there, that first of all we have to consider, and after that you have to connect in such a way. For that, if they are connected, suppose in this particular point, if they are connected, suppose here we can see that this 5 ohm resistance and the 4 ohm resistance, 5 ohms and this 4 ohm resistance, if we consider that there is a cross and there is a connection, it's not true, there is no more connection in that connecting point. So first of all, you have to find out that how many nodes are there. This is one point, this is another node, this is another node, this is another node, this is another node. So various nodes are there. Now you have to design the circuit. So how you can design this circuit? Now you have designed the circuit by considering all these nodes, all these branches, all these elements, whatever are there, you have to connect simultaneously. Then you can get only a planar circuit. Now after getting this planar circuit, it looks very simple circuit. Then you have to apply the mesh analysis. So before going to the mesh analysis, the most important part, that is you have to know the simple KVL rules. We know for any closed path, for any closed circuit, the summation of voltages across each and every element, that will be 0. So it means if there are any voltage source, if there are some resistance, or if any other things are there, so simply we can say the voltage across the voltage source will be is equals to the voltage drop across each and every resistance or each and every component, if we sum together, then the resultant will be equal with the voltage sources amount. So it's example is given over here. This example, it's a purely non-planar circuit. Then if we want to go for the mesh analysis, then also you have to change this non-planar circuit to a planar one. And there are few steps are there. By using these steps, you can easily solve for any circuit for the loop analysis method. Suppose first of all you have to find out how many loops are there or how many meshes are there. Basically we are considering about mesh analysis. So first of all we have to consider how many meshes are there. How many mesh means how many individual loops are there. Within that there are no more individual loops exist. So first we have to find out the number of meshes are there, and then you have to put a current for each and every mesh. So how will be the current? This current is considered as an imaginary current. It means it's imagine that this amount of current only flows within that loop. Only flows within that loop. Suppose we are considering one loop for I1 loop, and we are considering that I1 is the current for that loop. So this current will be basically the total imagination current, and after that you have to apply the KVL rules for all the meshes. Now let's see how we can solve this by using this procedure. So here one simple circuit is given over here. The circuit consists with several resistance R1, R2 and R3, and two different voltage sources V1 and V2. We can say that V1 and V2, they are the independent voltage sources and they are connected within the circuit. Now whenever we are going for mesh analysis, then obviously first we have to find out that how many meshes are there. So we can consider mesh means nothing but a closed path, and in between that closed path there will be no more closed path again. So and one thing we have to remember that the closed path generally, if there is no more current source, then it's okay. If there are any current sources are there, then we have to follow the another steps that I am coming to later. So first of all, for this particular circuit we can consider that A, B, E, F, it's a closed path, or we can consider this one as a loop, as a mesh. A, B, E, F as a mesh. Similarly, the another mesh is can be considered, that is B, C, D, E, B. So we can find two meshes, and we will consider the mesh until all the elements is covered. Then we have to consider, up to then you have to consider. So whenever we are considering one mesh, by considering the point A, B, E, F, A, then the elements R1, R3 and V1 is being covered. Now the remaining elements is also R2 and V2. So we have to consider one another mesh to consider these elements. So if we consider the another mesh B, C, D, E, B, then the another mesh is there, and for this particular mesh the element R2 and the V2 is also considered. So all the elements is being considered by using these two different meshes. Now for this mesh we are considering the mesh current. You can consider this mesh current. Mesh current means one current within this closed path only, the current which is moving in this closed path only. You can consider this current either in clockwise direction or either in anti-clockwise direction, that depends on you. There is no problem. So if you consider that you will consider this loop current in anti-clockwise, then also it's fine. If you consider this one, you will consider in clockwise, then also fine. If you consider, you will consider both the mesh current in opposite direction, then also fine, no more problem. You can consider in mesh current as per your direction. So till now we have considered, we have find these two meshes, and we have considered I1 is the mesh current for the first mesh A, B, E, F, A, and I2, that is the mesh current for this second mesh. And here is one more current that is written as a capital I1, capital I2, capital I3, which are flowing through the individual resistance directly. So these capital I1 current, capital I2 current and capital I3 current, these currents are called the branch current, because these currents actually flowing through this resistance, or this I3 current, which is capital I3 current, which is actually flowing through this resistance, these are the branch current. So this capital I1, capital I2, capital I3, they are the branch current, and this small I1 and this small I2, they are the mesh current. So this mesh current, this is it purely imagination. It's our imagine that only in this closed path this amount of current is moving, and only is this closed, in this closed path this I2, small I2 amount of current is moving in this path. And as well as you can put the you can consider the direction of the small I1 and small I2 current as per your opinion, no problem at all. Now next, so you have to apply the KVL for mesh 1. How you will consider this KVL for mesh 1? We know the summation of voltages within that closed path, that will be 0. So what will be the voltages across this resistance? For any resistance, the voltage across this resistance, that will be current flowing through that resistance and multiplied with the values of this resistance. So here, as we are considering the mesh current analysis, so we have to consider the values of this mesh current. So which amount of mesh current is flowing through over here? Only I1 amount of mesh current. So the voltage drop across this R1 resistance, that is small I1 into R1. Similarly, for this R3 resistance, this resistance share both this I1 loop current and as well as this I2 loop current. As this I2 current, as this R3 resistance share both the loop current, so for this resistance, whenever we are considering this resistance, you have to remember that in which loop you are now. Now we are considering the loop A, B, E, F, A. Generally it's better to say which mesh we are considering, that is A, B, E, F, A mesh we are considering. So the current I1, small I1 current, which is up to down direction, and I2 current, which is down to upward direction. So what is the current in up to downward direction? That is small I1 minus small I2, because of we are moving in this direction, in this direction of this arrow. So I1 current is moving, that's our imagination, that I1 current is moving as per this clockwise direction, and this I2 current is also considered as moving in clockwise direction. So I2 current is moving through this R3 resistance, that is down to up, and I1 resistance is moving from up to down. So for this first mesh, it means for the mesh of A, B, E, F, A, the I1 current is up to down, I2 current is down to up. So the voltage drop across this resistance R3, that can be considered as a I1 minus I2 multiplied with R3 resistance. Then all these currents, if we are moved to the clockwise direction, then they are going to the negative V1. It means the negative terminal of this voltage source. So simply we can say for this path, we can say small I1 into R1 plus within brace I1 minus I2 into R3, this one, and minus of V1. So for this loop we can simply consider I1 R1 plus of I1 minus of I3 into R3, and we are moving to this direction and going to the negative terminal of this voltage source. So we can write minus of V1 is equals to 0, that we can write. Okay, so now if we move for the next slide, it's seen that the same thing is written over here also, the same thing. Which thing? Whatever that we have written in previously, if we consider the previous things that we have written, It means we have written I1 into R1 plus I1 minus I2 into R3 minus V1 is equals to 0, that we have written, and that is over here. And just we have rearranging the equation. First is I1, coefficient of I1, and then I2, and is equals to V1 we have written. So similarly again we go back to the previous slide. So for this next mesh, always we will start from any resistance. If we consider from this resistance and there is the mesh current of I2, then simply we can say I2 into R2, small I2 into R2. It means we can write small I2 R2. So the equation for the second mesh, that will be I2 into R2, and this mesh current is going to the positive terminal of the V2 source. This mesh current is going to the positive terminal of this V2 source. That's why plus of V2, and then again it's coming to this R3 resistance, then means plus of which current? I2 is down to upwards. I2 loop mesh current, that is down to upwards, and I1 is up to downwards. Then again they are in opposite direction, but you have to consider the main current direction. It means the main mesh current, that is I2, and I2 direction is down to up and I1 is up to down. So you have to consider over here I2, it means main mesh current minus sub mesh current, I2 minus of I1. It's completed and no more elements are over there, so is equals to 0. So we can write I2 into R2, small I2 into R2 plus V2 plus I2 minus I1 into R3, obviously, into R3, that is equals to 0. So if we go for the next slide, for mesh 2, it's written the same thing. Look it carefully. It's written small I2 into R2 plus of V2 plus of R3 into I2 minus I1 is equals to 0, right? That's written over here. So now if we consider just rearrange the equation just like the previous one, just if we rearrange, so rearranging in such a way that first will be the coefficient of I1, then will be the I2 term, then is in right side there is the V2. So we are getting two different equation from these two meshes, and these two equation having I1 and I2 only. And if in your question the voltage values of this voltage source V1, V2 and the values of this resistance R1, R2, R3, they all are present over there, just put the values and you will get the result. And how you will solve it? Now there are two different equation, two unknown variable. Unknown variable means only I1 and I2. So you can easily solve the loop current or the mesh current. Basically you can easily solve this mesh current. Now one more thing, you are solving this I1 current and this I2 current. These are the mesh current, small I1 and small I2. Suppose they are asking you to find out this I3 current, so capital I3, these are the branch current. So how will you this branch current? This branch current I3, that is nothing but a up to downward direction. So which mesh current is your up to downward? That is I1 up to downwards, and I2 mesh current, this is also down to upwards. So what will be the capital I3 value? The capital I3 value, that will be this capital I3 value, that can be calculated as a up to downward direction. There is I1 minus of I2, by which you can calculate all the loop current. Similarly, if you want to calculate this I1 current, capital I1 current, so your capital I1, that is the branch current. So this capital I1 current, it means the current through this resistance, that R1. So which current is there? Which loop current? Only I1 loop current is there, and I1 loop current is also left to right, and I1 capital I1 branch current, this is also left to right. So this I1 branch current nothing but equal to with the loop current I1. Similarly, if they ask that what will be the values of this I2 current, so similarly you can say that this I2 current value, that is nothing but a small I2. Just like this we can write I2, this I2 current value will be equal to I2 means this current. So in this direction which current is there? That is only the I2 loop current. So this is I2. So if the current direction is opposite, then simultaneously we will put the negative sign over there, and no problem at all. Okay, so now we are shifting for an example. So let's go for an example. So already we have seen this equation, and the equation that you can solve it by using this matrix analysis method or by using normal equation solving method, no problem at all. Now there is a problem, and the actual values of this voltage source, actual values of this current source, or actual values of the resistance that is given, and they are asking you to find out the branch current, capital I1, capital I2 and capital I3. It's a very simple problem. So how we will solve it? So for this first problem, first we have to consider that how many numbers of meshes are there. So we can consider the mesh for this path. For this path, it means for the 15 volt source, 5 ohm resistance, 10 ohm resistance, and then 10 volt sources are there, and we are considering one mesh over there. And if we consider this mesh over there, only these elements are being covered, and the remaining elements are also these two. So for these remaining elements, you have to consider one another mesh. So if we consider one another mesh over here, and similarly just put the direction of the mesh current. You can put the direction of mesh current as per your choice. You can put it in clockwise direction, you can put it in anti-clockwise direction, that depends on you. You can consider it at any other direction. So whenever we are writing in this way, so now what will be the KVL equation? Now if we write for the KVL equation, then what it will be? So now for the KVL equation, always we will start from any resistance, that will be better. Always we will start. So if we start from this 5 ohm resistance, now we are starting from this 5 ohm resistance. So if we start, so what is the current through this 5 ohm resistance? I1. Which I1? Capital I1 or small I1? Small I1, because we have considered this small I1 as a loop current, or the mesh current we have considered this small I1. So the voltage across this 5 ohm resistance, that is 5 into small I1 plus 10, that is the resistance. So 10 into I1 current, that is up to down, and I2 current we have considered clockwise, so I2 current will be down to up. So it will be 10 into I1 minus I2. So 10 into I1 minus of I2. Then this I1 loop current going to the positive terminal of the source, that's why plus 10. Then again this I1 loop current is going to the next element, that is the voltage source, and I1 loop current going to the negative terminal of the source, so that's why minus of 15. So we are writing the equation in such a way, we are starting from one resistance and then considering each and individual element, and until we are coming to the starting point. So our starting point is 5 ohm resistance, so the current is I1, so 5 into I1. So first this one is completed, 5 into I1, then plus 10 into I1 minus I2, 10 I1 minus I2, this one. Then this I1 current coming to the positive terminal of the source, then plus 10. Then this I1 current going to the negative terminal of this 15 voltage source, that's why minus of 15. So minus of 15. Then again we are coming back to our original, our starting position, then and no more elements are there, so is equals to 0. So this is our first equation, and after solving this equation we are getting 3I1 minus 2I2 is equals to 1. Similarly, if we consider for the second mesh, then always we will start from the resistance. So we are starting from the 6 ohm resistance. So which current is there? We have considered I2 mesh current is there, so 6 into I2. So 6 into I2, then we are moving in this direction, then there is 4 ohm resistance. Which current is there? Which mesh current? That is only I2. So plus of 4I2, that is plus of 4I2. Then this I2 mesh current going to the negative terminal of the 10 volts, so minus of 10, that is written over here. Then this I2 current going to down to upward direction, and similarly this I1 current is also flowing through this 10 ohm resistance, that is up to downward direction. So here it will be I2 current down to up, I1 current up to down, and main current is this I2, so it will be I2 minus I1 into 10. So 10 into I2 minus I1, and again we are coming back to our starting position, so that is equals to 0. So we are getting 2 equation. For this 2 mesh, 2 equation, and for this 2 equation there are only the variables is I1 and I2, and simply by solving this equation we can find out the values of small I1 and small I2, that is the loop current. Now if in our question they are asking to find out this branch current I1, I2 and I3. Now what is the current I1? Capital I1 branch current. Capital I1 branch current means the current flowing through this 5 ohm resistance. So which mesh current is flowing through this I1, through this 5 ohm resistance? That is only small I1. And in the same direction is also same, because I1 current is also flowing in this direction, in such a way. So capital I1 is equals to this small I1. Similarly I2 current is also left to right through this 6 ohm resistance, and this small I2 current, small I2 mesh current, this is also in this direction. So they are in same direction, so we can see capital I2 is equals to small I2. Similarly the capital I3 is the that is the branch current which is flowing through this 10 ohm resistance, that is up to down. So up to down, so which mesh current is up to down through this 10 ohm resistance? That is I1 mesh current up to down, and this I2 mesh current which is down to up. It means it's moving in such a way, I2 current. So up to down direction current is capital I3, and up to direction the mesh current is I1, and I2 is downwards. So I1 minus I2, small I1 minus of I2. So if you put all these values, you will get all the answer. Okay. Okay. Now here is one another problem is given over here also, and now some values are there and some dependent sources are also there. Now you have to solve this circuit. So how will you solve it? The procedure is also just exact same, just like the previous one. How will you solve it? Again check how many mesh will be there. This is one mesh, this is one another mesh, this is one another mesh. You can consider a mesh because there is a voltage source, so no problem at all. We are considering simply a mesh. So this is mesh. So for this first mesh I1, so what will be our equation? As there is a 10 ohm resistance, this 10 ohm resistance share this I1 current as well as I2 current is also over there. Small I2 current is also over there. So simply we can write at the starting, we can write that is 10 into which currents are there? I1 current is up to down and I2 current is down to up. So I1 minus of I2, then this resistance is 12 ohm, then plus 12 multiplied with which current? I1 is up to down, I3 is also down to up. So 12 I1 minus of I3, 12 I1 minus of I3. Then this I1 loop current is going to the negative terminal of this source, so it will be negative 24 is equals to 0. So that we can write for our first mesh. So let's see how this one. We can simply if I clear this one, you will see. Okay, it's simply over there, that is 10 I1 minus I2, that I have 10 I1 minus I2. So for this over here, for this 10 I1 minus I2, then plus 12 I1 minus I3, plus 12 I1 minus I3, then minus 24, then minus of 24 is equals to 0. So this is our first equation. Similarly for our second mesh is this one. If we consider for this 24 ohm resistance, here will be only current is I2 is over there. So 24 into small I2 plus 4 into I2 is this side and I3 is this side. So 4 into I2 minus I3, 4 into I2 minus I3, then plus 10 into I2 minus I1 is equals to 0. So that's it. 24 it's written, 24 into I2, 24 into I2 it's written, then 4 ohm through this 4 ohm resistance, I2 is this side, I3 is this side. So 4 I2 minus I3, so 4 I2 minus I3. So this returns over here, and similarly for here 10 I2 minus I1, and no more elements are there. So plus 10 I2 minus I1 is equals to 0. So this is the equation from this mesh 1, equation from this mesh 2. Again the next is there is mesh 3. So for mesh 3 also the same way we can write down the equation. The equation is 4I0, it means I0 that is the current. So let's go for the circuit. So we will start from any resistance, that is always better. So if we consider this 4 ohm resistance, so the loop is moving to the clockwise direction, so we will move from left to rightward direction. So for 4 ohm resistance it will be 4 into that we can write, that is that we have to write 4 into which current, I2. We are moving left to right, but which current is there, I3 current. So 4 into I3 minus I2, this is one voltage. Then we are going to the positive terminal of this current dependent voltage source. This is current dependent voltage source because the values of this voltage source, that is 4I0, this I0 is nothing but a current through over here through this branch current. So this is a current dependent voltage source, and now the loop we are moving to the positive terminal of this voltage source, that's why it will be plus of 4 capital I0. Then we are moving to the resistance again, then again plus value is 12, resistance value is 12. Now which current is there, now I3 current that is down to up, and I1 current that is up to down. So we have to write I3 minus of I1. So all the elements is being covered, the 4 ohm this sources, these bar 12 ohm resistance all are covered. So now we can write that will be is equals to 0. Okay, so now check it. Okay, whatever we have written over there, that is 4 into I3 minus I2, 4 into I3 minus I2, that's written over here, plus 4 into I0 plus 4 into I0, then plus 12 into I3 minus I1 plus 12 into I3 minus I1 is equals to 0. So we are getting this equation. So till now by solving these 3 meshes we are getting 3 different equations. So now you have to solve this equation. Again you can solve this 3 equation by using this matrix method or by using normal equation solving method. There is no more problem. If we go for the matrix solving method, it's nothing. The first one, that is nothing but the coefficient of I1, coefficient of I2, coefficient of I3 for the from the first equation, and from the first equation if we want to go for the first equation, that is 11 is the coefficient of I1, minus 5 is the coefficient of I2, and minus 6 is the coefficient of I3. So 11 minus 5 minus 6 is equals to 12. So that's written over there, 11 minus 5 minus 6, and the coefficient the values for in the right side, that was the 12. Similarly for the second equation, that is the coefficient of I1 is minus 5, I2 coefficient is 19, I3 coefficient is minus 2 is equals to 0. So simply minus 5, 19 minus 2 is equals to 0, and for the second equation the coefficient of I1 that is minus 1, coefficient of I2 minus 1, coefficient of I3 that is plus 2, and right side that is 0. So again you can solve it by using that Cramer's rule. So here you can solve these 3 equation and you will get the values of this loop current, small I1, small I2 and small I3, and our question is to find out this current I0, this capital I0. So what is this capital I0 current? Now we can say this capital I0 current is nothing but this capital I0 current, that is the branch current that is up to downward direction through this 10 ohm resistance. So which mesh currents are there? I1 is up to down and also I2 is there. This 10 ohm resistance share this I1 mesh current and I2 mesh currents also. So I2 is down to up and I1 is up to down, and our aim is to find out the current capital I0 that is also up to down. So it will be nothing but I1 up to down minus the values of I2. We already have this value I1 and I2, so simply you can find out all these values. So no problem at all. Uh, so by using that method we can solve any of the complicated circuit by using this mesh analysis method. Thank you.